Good morning. Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the vlog. You guys, I'm using my new camera. I'm really excited to film this video today because this is a first impressions video of testing out the Sony ZV E10 Mark II vlogging camera. I'm currently using no extra microphone, no extra lens. This is just what the camera would be if you were to buy this camera like right out of the box. This is the kit lens. And I do have my tripod that I got separately from Amazon, but this is how the camera looks. I'll show you guys more a little bit later and I'll show you guys clips of everything. And we'll talk a little bit more about this camera during lunch. But this is what it looks like. It's so nice. It honestly looks pretty similar to the Sony ZV E10 Mark I, but the Mark II does have some pretty good improvements. And for filming purposes, I do have this camera on Intelligent Auto, and I'm filming in 4K 60 frames per second. So I have no filter or anything on. This is just how the camera looks. I turned off steady shot and I turned off the skin softening effect. I feel like it's actually on low, or maybe my skin just looks actually this soft. I don't think so. This camera just came out, I think maybe almost a month ago now. And this was my original camera before the one that I'm filming on right now. This is the Sony ZV E10 Mark I. I love this camera so much. I feel like this is almost my perfect vlogging camera. So in the middle of this video, I'm gonna switch out the external microphone, and this is my favorite zoom lens. This is Sony 11mm f1.8 wide angle lens, because what I'm doing right now, it's just not as wide as I want it to be, especially for someone that does lifestyle vlogs like me. So in the middle of this video, I will change out everything to have it be like my perfect vlogging setup, and then we'll test that out throughout the day. Go through our very normal day. I'm also working my 9-to-5 job today, and I'll kind of film like a very typical video, but it will overall be a first impressions of the Sony ZV E10 Mark II. So how about during my typical like B-roll of making my food and working, I'll tell you guys a little bit more about the Sony ZV E10 Mark II. This Mark I version is from 2021, and this Mark II version just came out a month ago in 2024. So 3 years. Let's talk about some of the improvements, and then we'll test out my perfect setup, because I have a feeling I wasn't even gonna get this camera to begin with, but I kind of feel like I'm gonna keep it. But we'll see. One thing I didn't mention in this video was what came in the box, and last year I did an unboxing of when I got the Mark I version. Truthfully, there's just not much in the box. You just get the body of the camera, a battery, a camera strap, and then a windscreen cover. There's not even a charging cable or a charging cable box, which granted I know we have a lot of those. I was able to use one of my own, but I guess I was just surprised that with the increase in price of everything, it didn't include even something to charge your camera with. So that's definitely something to take into account. But here's how the footage looks with B-roll using my kit lens. I actually really like it for zoom purposes and for B-roll and stuff. This is just me filming my typical work day. This is like a typical vlog that you would see. And overall, I'm really liking it. Okay, here's what I think about the camera so far. I actually really like it. I feel like one of the pain points that I had using my original camera, using the Mark I, was that it felt really shaky. Like even with steady shot off, it just felt more shaky than I wanted it to be. And I actually feel like I'm not really getting that much with this Mark II, but I am really over the lens. So I know I said I was gonna change this halfway through, but I can't. I need to change it right now. Okay, I'm gonna change my microphone and my lens one at a time so that you guys can see a difference. But right now I'm just using the internal microphone right now. So it's supposed to be an improved microphone. I don't really think an external microphone is necessary. I just think it does improve the quality of the sound. And it's just something that it's like a personal preference for me. So this is also a Sony wireless external microphone. It's actually really nice because you just kind of unscrew it like this. There's no wires needed. This is what the actual microphone looks like. Sometimes it wobbles, but I have a rubber band like inside. I don't know if you guys can tell, but one of the pain points I had with this microphone was that it was always shaking, and I could like hear it. So I put a rubber band on it, and then this little fuzzy thing is for wind. This is me before the microphone, and this is me after. Can you tell a difference? I need to actually play back and make sure that the microphone is working, but it's literally as simple as just putting it on the little cold shoe thing and it works. So it's really nice. I think it's worth having. Let me know if you guys can tell a difference. I can always tell a difference when I'm editing, but maybe that's just because I'm like hyper aware of when I'm editing and stuff, how it all sounds. So yeah. Okay, I just checked it's working. And so now I'm gonna change the lens. I'm standing pretty far away from the camera right now just to get this shot in. This is how I would actually hold my tripod and everything if I were to be vlogging. Like I said, it's fine. It's just like a little too close for my liking. So I'm gonna change nothing about the tripod or about the angle. Hopefully the angle will be like as consistent as possible. I'm just gonna change the lens, and so you guys can tell difference. This is before and this is after. See, it's much better, I think. I just like that you can see more and I can stand like a little bit closer to the camera, which is good for audio, and you can see like more of me in my background. So this is my perfect vlogging setup. I'm gonna test out the camera for the rest of the day and see how I like it. The one thing also about this camera, I'll show you guys on selfie or like on the mirror mode, but the kit lens is probably like a third the size of my wide angle lens. I don't know if that's something that like people, you know, like care about, but that is something to take into account. So if I walk over to my mirror, here's how the camera looks. It looks, I think, pretty identical, but like if you move it to the side, I don't know if you guys can tell, this is how the camera looks. I'll put a picture too. Right here is a picture of how the camera looks, but you can also just kind of tell like it's a little big, but it's like barely bigger than my original camera. Okay, hello, it's lunchtime. It's 12:35 right now. And I'm actually really liking this camera so far. I did find out that the skin softening effect is on, so I was like, it's just on low, because I was like, there's no way my skin looks that soft. But I kind of might keep it on low. We'll see. Maybe just for this video, we'll keep it on low, but I usually have it on off. And another thing that I forgot is that the screen is actually touchscreen. And Mark 1, this touchscreen, it's like, there's like a sensor, but you can actually like use the screen and scroll on this one. So that's really nice. And you can go vertically really easily. So actually, let's test that out. Apparently it has the auto feature that goes vertically. So like this. On my screen, it's going vertically, which is nice, but I wonder how it looks when I actually just like put it in Final Cut Pro. I'm gonna make my taco salad now or something for lunch, and then let's take a little lunch break and talk about filming and this camera in general. Okay, here's my taco salad that I'm having for lunch today. I wanted to take my lunch break today from my 9-to-5 job to talk to you guys a little bit more about just like my filming setup in general. I am not like a tech YouTuber. I'm a lifestyle vlogger and I live like a really normal life, and I'm not the most educated on cameras. I just know what I can speak to in terms of like my own experience using cameras and everything. There's multiple reasons why I love the Sony ZV E10 just in general. I think it's an overall really good vlogging camera for so many reasons, but I love the upgrades on this one specifically for multiple things. One being a larger battery, and it's just overall easier to like take out the battery and take out the SD card. They're on 2 different ports now. The toggle feature with slow motion picture and video is totally like, I feel like I'll never make that mistake ever again. And you don't have to be a vlogger, but I just feel like people who use this camera understand like footage is basically gone if you were trying to vlog but you accidentally hit slow motion. I really like that that's gone. And overall, just in general, I really like that you can change out the lens of this camera, but the sensor will stay the same. And it kind of seems like the sensor has been upgraded. I don't know if that's true or not. I'll put on the screen if that's true or not, but I just feel like the overall upgrades and improvements they made to the Mark II does make it worth the slightly extra higher cost, because I just feel like if you go for the lower cost, you're gonna have the same pain points that you could have just paid a little bit more to fix today. So I think so far I'm really liking the camera. I also know that with the battery being bigger, it lasts a lot longer, and I think before I never really had any issues. If you're comparing this camera to the Sony ZV-1, like the point and shoot, I think it is astronomical the difference in having a good battery makes, because you never have to carry like an extra battery pack, especially if you're traveling. I feel like it can last a whole travel vlog, this specific battery. It's so long. I started at 100%. I feel like I've filmed probably like maybe 30 minutes of footage at this point, and I still have like 70%, which I think is really good. That's really nice. I think the overall like auto features are really good. So if I want you to focus on my camera, then it just does it so quickly. Like, that's so nice. And the background defocus is really nice too. You can also always make sure that you're in focus because there's like a little square that goes around my face because it has like human recognition. I think overall, just as a person that like uses this camera to do daily vlogging, it's really nice. And I wanted to make sure to do a first impressions this time around, like actually filming a normal video slash vlog, because I feel like the first impressions video I did last year was only good for so much because I was filming it for like the duration of 1 hour instead of actually testing out all of the features and seeing how I like it. So I feel like this is a better first impression, and I will have timestamps below for like what parts of the camera I'm talking about during the video. But other than that, this is kind of just like a normal vlog. Oh, and I'll also say that the colors you guys are seeing on this video as you're watching it, they are color graded. I'll change right here what the camera looks like with no color grading. I just have like a personal style to how I like to color grade. I'm gonna change it back now. But I also really love Sony just in general. I never really was one to use Canon. I think they're very different. Like, I know people that like to use Canon cameras just like stay using Canon, but I really like Sony. I feel like the colors are very like true to what the real color is, and I don't really play around with filming in like S-Log or anything because I just do color grading on like the raw footage of non-S-Log. S-Log is like too fancy for me. Okay, and I think that's everything. I have one more thing that I want to test out on this camera before I finish off this first impressions video, but I'll do that afterward. Hi guys, happy end of the day. I just showered after my run. Just so you know, that last clip that I got running was on my phone, not on the camera. Today we're having a really quick dinner, which I'm very thankful for. This is a vegetable and butcher. If you guys are in the DMV area or if you've been watching my vlogs, then you know that this is, I think, local to people in DC, Maryland, or Virginia, but it's a really good meal delivery service called Vegetable and Butcher, and this is what we're having tonight. Since I post lifestyle vlogs, I'm in my kitchen like 99% of the time, honestly. So I actually really like how it looks. I feel like it looks like just like my old camera, but just ever so slightly better with like the color and stuff, or maybe it's really just that soft focus on my face. Maybe I'll keep it on.
I can't tell, honestly.
You can't tell?
No.
I feel like I can tell. I'm shooting on 60 frames per second. Hi guys, it's actually the next day. It's actually the end of the day, the next day. Because truthfully, I forgot to finish this, but there's one last thing that I wanted to test on my new camera, and it's the steady shot. So this is my ideal vlogging setup, right? With like my microphone, with my wide angle lens, but I was really curious about how the steady shot improved on the Sony ZV E10 Mark II, because in the Mark I, it was just like impossible to use the steady shot even on such a wide angle lens like this. So I just want to test out what it would be like, but I actually also want to test out just walking around without the steady shot, because I feel like it used to be really, really bad and shaky, but let's just see. I feel like it's not that bad. Okay, or if I were to just hold the camera, which is also something that I would realistically do a lot too if I like don't want to bring my tripod. Here's how it looks. I feel like it also looks pretty good here too. This is with steady shot off, so let's turn it on. And here's how it looks with steady shot on. Okay, it's actually, I actually think it's not that bad. It's definitely cropped in. I want to say it's like 133% as opposed to the old one, which was 140%. I'll put the exact details right here on the screen, but this is how it looks if I were to turn on steady shot with my 11mm 1.8 lens. I actually feel like it's not that bad. I don't know if I would use it. I still feel kind of close. If I were to hold the camera like by the lens, which is a little bit less stable, but I guess just like realistically how I vlog in public sometimes, because sometimes I feel like I don't want the tripod, it's like too noticeable. This is how it would look. It's actually not that bad. This is holding the camera. I feel like it's actually pretty stable too. I think it's improved. And then if I were to hold my tripod with no selfie stick on, just like holding the tripod, it looks like this. Oh, kind of like it. I need to turn off the, that's funny. Man, hi. But I definitely still prefer steady shot off. Like this is how it looks with it off. I just think it looks better. And if the camera has improved enough where the shakiness isn't so bad with steady shot off, that's like honestly a really huge win for me. So I think I'm liking it so far. I think I'm gonna keep it. Actually off to dinner with my friend in Arlington. That's actually where I live, Arlington, Virginia, right outside of Washington, DC. So I'll get some clips of being outside, mainly because I know that all of this vlog has been in my apartment. I think it's fun to see how a camera would actually do like outside of my typical environment. So let's bring it to dinner and then we'll finish off the vlog tonight. Okay, I'm outside. Why do I feel like without the steady shot, it's like not as shaky as it used to be? If I'm being honest, I hate vlogging in public because I just feel like not a lot of people vlog where I live and it's always awkward. I always wonder in situations like this, I'm like, is anyone watching me vlog? Probably. Well, that's why I have my sunglasses on, like who cares? I'm actually really early meeting my friends, so I'll just show you guys a little bit of Arlington and then we'll have dinner. We're going to Wagamama, which is a new place that opened in Clarendon, and then that will be my night. Here's how the camera looks in the nighttime. I feel like it doesn't really make a difference from my other vlogs just because like the lens is the same, but if the sensor is improved of some sort, or I just feel like it does look a little different. I don't know. Here's how it looks at night at least. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was honestly so fun for me to film just like a full like day in my life first impressions, like playing with a new camera video. And I think what I'll do is as I'm editing at least the b-roll, I'll put text of how I'm enjoying like editing the footage, because I have a feeling I actually was more impressed with this camera than I expected, but I won't really know until I edit this video, so we'll see. But I do have a feeling I'll just keep this camera and sell my old one. So I guess we'll see. If you guys have any questions about the Sony ZV E10 Mark I, Mark II, lenses, microphone, I'll put my entire like filming setup in the description box below. Any like extra things, my tripod, all that stuff. But I love the Sony ZV E10. I think it's honestly one of the best cameras that you can have for vlogging if you're just wanting something very simple but also very high quality. And yeah, I guess that's everything. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. I post new videos twice a week in 2024. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video, but until then, miss you already.